Good afternoon, or what is a cool, bright day. It is Tuesday, the 11th of October. I'm in the reading nook with a cat who is not ours, and a nice hot cup of tea, and a game to unbox, which is Horrified, American Monsters, published by Ravensburger. Now, I've already done an unboxing and a review of Horrified, which is a cooperative game which pitches the player characters, or the players, against the universal monsters. The classic monsters are from film from the 1930s and 40s, so starting with Dracula and Frankenstein's monster, then the Wolfman, the Mummy, and of course the creature from the Black Lagoon. And the whole idea behind the game is that the players are cooperating to prevent the monsters from fulfilling their objectives. There's a little bit of variation in the play because you've got different monsters and so on, and what they want and how you stop them is different in each case. So Ravensburger has returned to the same format, but across the Atlantic to the New World, even though of course the creature from the Black Lagoon of course comes from South America, but to do a version based upon entirely American monsters. So Cross Creek Gazette, Town Overrun by Monsters, a cooperative game against America's creepiest cryptids. Cryptids from across America have been drawn by an unknown force to terrorise the community. Work together to defend your home from Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, the Chupacabra, Mothman, the Ozark Howler, and the Banshee of the Badlands. Each monster presents a unique challenge, and players can adjust the difficulty by playing against a new group of monsters each game. So, there we go. It's the back of the game, back of the box. You see what you get, and it includes all these plastic monsters, plastic figures. So let's get open. I'll find out what's inside. Careful the knife away from his nose. Come on. Careful. Slide open. There we go. See if I can get it open. And of course, here comes the bit where you. Is that going to come across, or is I've not sealed at 4 points, not 2. Almost there. Okay, so we open up, and what we've got is that. Now, if you remember the Nostromo board game, which is based upon the film Alien, or the board game is Alien: The Fate of the Nostromo. The first thing when you open up the box is a painting of a very scared Jones the cat, and I think that's exactly what they've done here, along similar lines. But of course, not without Jones the cat, but a letter. So. Urgent memo. Citizen, by now you are no doubt aware of this extraordinary circumstances facing the town of Cross Creek. I can confirm that rumours are true. The terrifying events taking place are the result of unrest among cryptids, a powerful and otherworldly group of creatures drawn to Cross Creek by an unknown force. The FBPI has never faced a greater challenge. Our resources are stretched to their max, and we need Cross Creek residents with extraordinary abilities like yours to help us turn the tide and keep the good people of this town safe. You'll be tested again, some of the most ferocious and terrifying beings imaginable, but we are confident that together we will persevere. There's no time to waste. Meet us at the enclosed location to receive further instructions. You're not just a citizen anymore, you're an investigator. And this is from Director Dana Cooper of the Federal Bureau of Paranormal Investigation, i.e. that is the FBPI. And of course, Dana Cooper, Dale Cooper. So there's the links there. So that's the back of the board. That's giving you the information, basically the setup of the game automatically. It's a nice touch. So the square board opens up, and we've got a general sort of map of North America on here, and where the various creatures normally come from. So that's a nice touch. So New Jersey Devil up there in New Jersey, Bigfoot up in Oregon, Washington State, and so on. Turn over, and you've actually got the playing board, the various connected locations across the town, which the player characters will run around, chase the monsters, and attempt to stop them from doing their worst. So it's not folding up correctly. There we go. And then beneath that, we have American Monsters instructions. So nice cover picture. Then we're getting through a list of what basically shows you what's in there. You know, an illustration of all the contents. That's always great. You know, you can, okay, what's in the game? What have I got? What have I got to put together? What have I got to find? Monster setup, objectives, so on. How to set the game up and get it ready to play. And this is another. I think this is another design from Prospero House, but which always do a great job of taking properties and developing it into board games. And then we have an exploration of different phases. So we've got an investigator phase where the players will act. And then what the monsters do in their own phase. So monster phases, monster attacks, game end, and then we have an explanation of all the different monsters that the player characters will face. So obviously the Chupacabra, the Banshee of the Badlands, Bigfoot and Mothman, Ozark Howler and the Jersey Devil. So it kind of feels like a concentrated X-Files game all in one. Beneath that you've got a rack, or you've got all the cardboard counters and pieces you'll need to play. So those are nice and sturdy. I'm not going to open those, but you can see you know how good a stock they are. You have, I'll show you these, of course. You've got the monsters, each in a different colour, so they're easy to identify on the table, not just from their shape and their colour. So Bigfoot, classic pose, Chupacabra, I'm hoping, and then presumably Badlands Banshee. I mean, I'm guessing it's some of these, so I could hold from the back, of course. Doesn't tell me. So what else we've got in here? That, I don't know what that is. Let's have a look, see if it tells me in the rule book. Of course it will, but I mean, I'm not expert on the American cryptids in particular by any stretch of the imagination. So that's the Jersey Devil. Mothman, of course, and then we have that, which I'll have a look, see what that is. Right, being quite unprepared there, but you know, I'm literally unboxing this for the first time, so that's how it goes. So the blue thing. Yes, all right. I'm sorry. He's being insistent. He wants a fuss. So I got it wrong. So let's do this properly, shall we? So that's going to be the Chupacabra. Nicely detailed miniature. Banshee of the Badlands, as I thought. Turn over the page. Bigfoot. And then Mothman. It's a bit bright. And then Okay, that's the Ozark Howler. That's the one I haven't heard of. And lastly, that's the Jersey Devil. So those are the miniatures. And then we have a strange bag, but not quite sure what that's used for. Presumably pulling pieces out. But that's a nice inclusion, because sometimes, you're pulling pieces blind and you've got to provide your own means of storing them for that purpose. Dice with different actions, different results on there. Yes, I'm not ignoring you. We have stands. And then put this up. So pull these out. What we have got here is almost like report cards. So obviously one for Bigfoot, and on the back you've got the monster set up, and that does it for each of them on the back. It's all the same on the back, but you've got cryptid reports on each of them, and each of these these are really what you've got to do for to stop them. So presumably you might literally have you take an image of a Bigfoot, so give it exposure, survive the skeleton for the Banshee of the Badlands, save the goats, hunt the beast, and so on. Who is the 13th child for the Jersey Devil? So that's a nice selection. I like that they put them. So you'll have these separate out on the table, where everyone can see them, and track their progress. It comes in their own Ziploc bag, and then you've got the various cards in there as well. So these will be, and you've also got reference cards as well. So yeah, that is Horrified American Monsters, which I'm hoping is going to be as good a game as Horrified was. You going down, Cat, or are you just moving around? No, you're just moving around because you're not being paid enough attention, are you? Yeah, so I hope this is going to be as fun as the original, and it all fits nicely into the box as well. So I'll just pack this away. So yeah, it all fits back into the box like that. It's got a great cover, nice little work inside, looks to be a fun game. I mean, if you've never, if you're sort of like, it's a nice way of introducing sort of like younger players to horror, because this is for, let's have a look, just give an age, 10 and up, playing time 60 minutes, yeah. So, if you've got younger players who like a bit of horror, I want to play something up against something different, and you've played Horrified, yeah, this is one to follow up with. Anyway, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box or a game which I'll unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea and a nice and a cat who is not ours, then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.